been following this channel for quite a while now, you probably know that I am a sucker for really old, outdated lenses. So when I see these items on sale, for instance on eBay, I get this really strange tingling sensation that, I have to have it. And I'm not very sure that this can be considered as the gas syndrome, because normally gas syndrome is for brand new material, brand new cameras. It's not the case. The older they get, the desirable they get for me. And I do have a ball dismantling these old lenses and realizing how do they work. As a matter of fact, if you look closely on this example, there is a small mark done about 150 years ago. How cool can that get? I mean, it's not every day that you saw a mark that old. And besides dismantling them and cleaning them thoroughly, I am always expecting to find a different design on each and every lens. But to be honest with you, the lens that I'm most interested in it's lenses with Petzval designs. To a point that I really get a kick in the bowels. I said bowels, not another word close to it. But while using these lenses, sometimes I feel that it's actually my own creativity that is stopping me from creating more mature work rather than the lens itself. But going back on the topic of creativity, let me show you one thing, and this is the product of my own mind that actually is a little bit relentless and doesn't stop. What you see here is me adding more lithium cells to my own battery, making it a 2 kilowatt battery that was cannibalized from a Tesla Model 3. Now, this battery, which actually is a little bit more than a battery, is more like a brick because it weighs a ton, is what powers everything on this room, meaning computers, sound equipment, microphones, laptop, everything that is electronical is powered by this huge brick. Again, I said brick, not another word. This reaches a level that even my own e-bike is powered by this little heavy brick contraption that I just made and invented and whatever. Oh, and the batteries that are now powering this bike, I also made them. And this philosophy, this way of living, of building my own things, I also bring it to photography, because for me, photography has to be an artisan kind of art. And I know that probably you that are watching this, you use your digital camera, and it's perfectly fine and it's perfectly okay, no worries whatsoever, but it just does not resonate with me. On my view, and this is strictly my view, and it doesn't mean that I'm correct or that you're wrong, it's just my point of view, photography should be an art form. And as an art form, there is no space for automatisms or people doing decisions for you. So the more control I have over my images, the more it feels like being my own baby, my own creation. And this is where digital fails for me, because there are so many automatizations in digital that it doesn't feel like it was me creating the final image. So very recently I was on this historical event. I was there and I wanted to photograph just a portrait, just that, nothing else, just a simple portrait. And I did 350 kilometers to photograph, to make 3 shots, which I'll show you now. And the mindset was just that one, just 3 shots or 4 shots tops of portraits, nothing more than that. You can see that all the other photographers were there with their digital cameras. They probably did like 600, 700 shots, and that was really not my stuff. I was carrying my large format camera around. The bag should hold like 20 kilos, somewhere there. In the end, at the end of the event, I just set my camera. I asked 2 or 3 persons for a photograph. They really fast said yes, because they saw that it was something different for them. So I took these 3 images, and that was it. 350 kilometers for making just 3 shots. That's photographing with a purpose, and I was specifically there for that specific moment, for those
specific portraits. So I was not going around and shooting anything that would move, and yeah, that's it.
And even on those locations that are absolutely close to me, and I pick up my bicycle and I put everything on my back and I just pedal to the location, I have an image on my head, and I'm not going there to photograph every tree, every leaf, everywhere. I'm just going to do the image that I have. In this specific case, I could not find the location itself, so I just, came back and I did not even took the Hasselblad out, and I just roamed back home. Because it is absolutely pointless to lose your time on photographing trees against cloudy blue day sky. It's just not for me. And the following planned image, I'm coming from the right side and I'm going to photograph that abandoned house over there, which was actually a villa in the past, in the 1950s, 1960s, with the sun in the back. So I've been planning this shot for at least a month now, and I have a very special camera to do it. And the story behind this Kodak Retina, I bought it to a Spaniard about 5 years ago, and it was a lady in her 50s, said to me that this was from her granddaddy that was doing the family portraits in the 1960s, 1970s. This checks out in a way because when I opened the camera for cleaning and lubricating, I found a sticker that was saying that the camera was in Mexico in 1969 when she was repaired, apparently. This camera has an outstanding 45mm Schneider f2.8 lens, which is a delight to use and really punchy contrasty. Another oddity about this camera is that the manual advance lever is not on the top right corner but underneath the camera itself. It's an odd place to be, but it actually does work as it should. It does feel like a granddaddy camera though. Another thing that you should know is that these are not actually innocent trips. These are actually planned to the detail. Here you can see me putting the secondary battery, which I also did build, and then the main battery on the bicycle, and doing the throttle test and also the braking test. The next shot is also a planned shot, of course, and it has to do with the gunpowder factories. I'm coming in through the south, the subject is there in green, and then the sun is also on my back, so that's what I wanted. And to be quite honest with you, don't think that this Dutch angle was on purpose. It was actually just me being stupid and forgetting the tilted camera. And you also might be surprised that I record myself on my bicycle, and this is not for YouTube reasons, this is actually for safety reasons, and this is a small trip of around 15 minutes. Let me show you the traffic violations that actually happen around me. And you're going to notice that on one or two occasions I actually swerve to the right. And this is my protection system, because I know if something goes wrong, they will immediately cut me off and hit me. So I prefer just to turn the bicycle right and let them do their things. Another oddity is that most of the cameras, they start from 0 to 36, but the Kodak Retina, it just starts from 36 and ends up in number 0. And this next scene is in a row, so I have a group of cars, 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, and the last one passes so close to me that I have to swerve a little bit to the right. And this next guy, he beats all the records in traffic stupidity. You see, I was doing 35 kilometers per hour, so he passed me speeding on the pedestrian crossing on the crossroads. I mean, 3 things in a row. How stupid can we be? This to show you that if I'd been collecting fines from these 15 minutes of riding my bicycle, in the end I would have money to buy a Leica M6 in second hand. So therefore, after carefully scrutinizing all the nominees, we can give the Oscar of Stupid Driver to the Mercedes owner. Round of applause, everybody. Okay, that's enough, lady. Keep your shirts on. Let's continue with photography. And this one comes from a person that I actually consider a friend on eBay, the seller called Dinar, which is Sven. And it's not the first time that he sells me these kind of lenses, but this one is absolutely huge. Look at the size of this thing. And when I bought it, I did not realize how big this is. Even with the image of Sven sending it to me, comparing it with the book, I did not realize it would be that massive. And being me, I just need to tear this apart and see all the elements one by one, which, by the way, are perfectly as new. These are almost immaculate. And Sven, he sells this kind of material. Is actually one of the good guys on eBay. Many thanks, Sven, once more for delivering me a pristine lens. And now the only thing I have left to do is to put everything back together and start with this craftsmanship, artisanship that my kind of photography actually is. Let me show you this in detail. Here you can see me drawing directly on the lens board exactly the diameter of the lens. And then I'll be, well, going to my office and start to make the hole much bigger so it fits the lens. So now you see the involvement that this kind of photography actually demands from us, well, or from me. And the final result is actually much more satisfying than we could ever achieve with digital photography. And let me remind you of a thing that I said a couple of videos ago. It's not that I'm right and you're wrong, and it's not that you're right and I'm wrong. It all goes down to the fact that the involvement on this kind of photography is so demanding that in the end it's much more gratifying, because out of all things, this was something that I've created by myself. But enough of that, and let's continue to do images on purpose. And before you ask, let me stop you right there. I am not driving and filming at the same time. The thing is, I have an apparatus that you connect it to the steering wheel and you can record it from there. And by saying so, do let me take you to the sunny beaches of Costa da Caparica. It's like 25 minutes away from my place. And the motto of this trip is going to be to use the Kodak Retina for odd shots. Really odd shots, weird shots that you normally will not do at the beach. And then the Hasselblad 500cm for 1 or 2 tops occasional portraits. Just the minimum of the minimum, 1 image probably, maybe 2. What I will be avoiding is taking this kind of portraits on the beach. For me, this is really just blah photography. And I don't know if you still remember what I said about advancing film lever being in this weird position, but well, there it is. And what did I tell you? Odd shots. Complete odd shots. And it just doesn't get any weirder than this. A tractor, an agricultural tractor at the beach. They are there to help the fishermen, because I think that in the past they used either the human hand or animal force. I'd like to draw your attention to this guy, and he was there with his Canon and his 70 to 200 millimeters f2.8. He was shooting everything, he was just filling in the card with images and images after images. I'm going to leave him there incognito. I, on the other hand, decided that I just wanted to do one shot of this woman standing there, so I waited about about 45 minutes to an hour to get this image. I did ask her permission to take the photo, and I kind of like it. I like the way her face is smiling also. I also like the position of her hands, and like I told you, it costed me like 45 minutes to get the lighting just on the position that I wanted to take the portrait of her. And like that, I got from, well, my standards, a really nice portrait of a lady who had some hardships, but she's now actually smiling at them. And it's now right about time to stop the video and give you a sneak preview of my next video, which is going to be an abandoned church. If you did like the content that I put out for you, please do like and subscribe to the channel, as this will help me to grow. Many thanks for watching this till the end, or as we say in Portuguese as well, até a próxima.
Thank you.